Hello guys, this is Calvin. Welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to be discussing a topic that I've actually dealt with since I was about 16 years old, and this is chronic postnasal drip. Now chances are if you're watching this, you also have dealt or are currently dealing with chronic postnasal drip. Maybe you've dealt with it for only a couple of years, maybe you've dealt with it pretty much your entire life. I've heard many stories. I've known people who were in their 40s, 30s, 50s, even some really older folks who have dealt with postnasal drip, chronic postnasal drip throughout their entire lives. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm also the owner of the r/chronic postnasal drip subreddit that I started in late 2023 as a way to gather around all the people who are dealing with this condition. Actually, I don't know if condition is the right word. I don't really know what to call it. It's just kind of a weird medical anomaly that is still pretty unexplained. But in my life, I've just kind of accepted to deal with it and still live my day-to-day life in a way where it doesn't completely bog me down, whether it comes to getting in the way of something physically I want to do or it being a mental hurdle. So to give you guys the rundown of how mine started, when I was 16 years old, this was 2020, and it was around the time of COVID, and it was around fall time of 2020. So what happened was I got sick, and of course I had to get tested for COVID around that time, because even if you get the cold around that time, you have to get tested to make sure it's not COVID. So essentially I got the nasal swab test, and I've gotten the nasal swab test before where they get really invasive and they just go really up there. This time they did, and it was like way too far. I swear to God, they went up there like to the point where I'm just like, oh my God, like how is this even legal? To this day, I still wonder how that kind of swab testing is legal. I really don't think it should be. I think it is really invasive and it should be illegal, honestly. My theory to this day is that's what caused the postnasal drip for me, because if I recall correctly, about a week after that, when my cold passed and everything had passed, the postnasal drip from the sickness was still there. And it never really ended. I remember I kept waiting patiently. Then I went to my doctor and I was like, what the heck is happening? And he was like, okay, I'll give you some antibiotics. Antibiotics didn't help, and for a long time I was hopeless, to the point where throughout most of 2021, when I was 17 years old, I was really depressed because I was super confused as to why the hell this chronic postnasal drip thing was happening, which I should probably explain what chronic postnasal drip even is to those of you who are unfamiliar. Basically, just picture that feeling of mucus just kind of running down in the back of your throat, but to me it's in that spot that's parallel to what I believe is called the nasopharynx or something like that. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'll put it on screen if I have a hard time explaining it here, but it's kind of parallel, kind of like right here in my sinus. It's weird, but essentially it's a bunch of mucus backed up in that spot that's kind of too up there for me to just hawk up. Like, it's not like low in my throat or even around here to where I can't really hawk it up, but it's just enough up there to really irritate you, but to the point where you can't really just hawk it up and spit it out. It's kind of just there, and it's this lingering feeling, and it absolutely sucks at first because it is so goddamn annoying. You don't know how to deal with it, you don't know how it happened, you don't know how it got there, and it is the most confusing thing ever. Now, I went to an ENT for this. Like I said, I went to my doctor. Both were equally confused. I got the camera up my nose and everything where they saw everything. And I think I just got recommended, oh, humidifier, maybe some diet changes. Oh, you're allergic to this, so that may be it. Like, and actually for a long time now, I haven't even gone to the doctor or ENT for this, because everything they've recommended to me is the same thing that they've recommended for years that I have tried out. Yes, I've done allergy tests, I've seen what I'm allergic to, and a lot of it just does not line up, which is why to this day my theory is that it all sparked from that one time I got the swab jammed so far up my sinuses that I feel like something just got fucked up there, honestly. But essentially, like I said, when I was 17, this made me super depressed because I was just really confused. However, fast forward to modern day, I still have it. It's still there, but it does not rule my life in any way. I was super depressed because I always have been into music. I've always wanted to sing. I've always been into music production. So when I got that, I thought my voice was doomed for life. I was trying to sing at first, and it was really a struggle because I'm not sure if it was psychological. I'm not sure if it was physical, and I eventually was able to push past it. But I just could not sing the way I want to, and I was super sad about this. However, eventually I managed to practice on my own a ton, and I realized that the postnasal drip was actually not the block at all. It turns out I was just a shit singer at the time. To this day, it may have some effect on my voice to some extent. By the way, right now, I know I sound snotty. It's actually not because of the postnasal drip. It's actually because I'm coming down from a cold right now. So it's actually some funny coincidental timing that I'm recording this right now. But no, All right, I am just sick right now, but it's good timing. All right, good topic. But essentially, this would also suck too because when I go on runs and I would exercise, it would really build up, and I felt myself getting out of breath a lot easier and just feeling this giant buildup of mucus, and it was frustrating and disgusting. So I guess my objective with this video is that I know there are other people in this world who have this, and it really bogs them down mentally. I know people to this day who are still constantly searching for a cure, the right surgery to fix it, which me personally, I'm not taking that route until there's eventually maybe one day some confirmed surgery that every person has tried it and has worked for them for sure. But the thing is, with surgeries, they are so risky and they are so expensive for something that may not even completely fix it, for something that I can live with at least to a manageable amount right now. So I am completely okay not getting the surgery. But like I said, I know many people who are constantly scouring these options. And honestly, my biggest fear is that I'm 20 years old right now, is that I wake up and I'm 30 and I realize I spent the last decade constantly searching for solutions for an issue that I may not ever solve. All right, this may not get solved until like 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line. I have no idea. All I know is that I am petrified of wasting life. If you know my channel, you know me, you know that wasting time and getting older is like my biggest fear. It's like my biggest anxiety, okay? So I've gotten to the point where I can live life, and even though it's still there, I'm not constantly thinking about it every single day, because it can also kind of become this obsessive thought type of thing. Listen, I know some people have it worse than I do, but I know for me, whenever I thought it was hindering me from being able to do certain things I wanted to do, this would actually make it so that I had a lot more of a difficult time actually doing these things. I think there came a day that I was just so fed up and I just decided, like, look, I'm done caring. I'm just going to ignore it and proceed with what I do. I'm going to do my best, get better with the body, the abilities that I have, and that's all I can do. And eventually, day by day, went by to the point where I just kind of slowly forgot it was there. One day, maybe it was like half of the day I was really aware of it, that it was there, but then the other half I kind of forgot about because I was doing something else. I really made a point to start distracting myself in a positive way to the point where I was not thinking about this all the time, every second of the day, to the point where fast forward now, I'm recording this 2024, but I know this is going up in 2025, that I honestly forget that I even have it until I sit down and think, and I just feel it there. I'm like, oh yeah, still kind of there, but I don't really think about it much throughout the day. So I know this video is geared towards mainly chronic postnasal drip specifically, but with the message I'm about to say, this can be applied to kind of any chronic condition. I know it varies, how severe it is. This may not apply to every single one, but sometimes you realize you can't spend every single second constantly searching for the right solution, the right surgery. What's the perfect diet plan? What's the perfect, combination of medication and this and that? Because honestly, if you want my honest opinion, life is way too damn short for that, all right? I'd rather put that energy into things that I know, okay, I have limited time, but I have these huge passions. Because honestly, when you have passions, you have things you care so deeply about, sometimes you get so invested into those things that you can forget about everything else, including that condition, whatever it may be. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not trying to speak about it like it is some super easy thing. However, I'm offering a method that has worked for me with this, that has allowed me to kind of forget about it throughout my entire day, and that has allowed me to really live life. So I guess to summarize everything, the main message I want to say in this video is that, hey, you can spend as much time as you want searching for the perfect cure, the perfect surgery, perfect diet, but keep in mind that every second you are doing this, seconds are ticking by, minutes are passing by, there are opportunities passing by, there is a whole life to live, so many different experiences, they're just kind of ticking by. And this isn't saying you can't balance it. You can dedicate time into research while also living your life. I'm just saying this because I've seen people go so far down the rabbit hole, including myself in the past, into obsessively searching for a cure, the right surgery, to the point where you're spending all day, every day, kind of stressing about it, what's the right thing, and eventually it kills you, and you spiral into this giant mental breakdown. At least that's kind of what I experienced. But those are the biggest words of encouragement I can give with this. But if you're dealing with chronic postnasal drip or any other chronic physical anomaly, I promise, keep your head held high, okay? You can push through, I promise you. I hope this video was of any help in any way. If it was, feel free to drop a like, drop a comment. feel free to subscribe. I wish you the best in your journey of life. Sending you much love as always, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.
All my life, all my life, all my life, I just needed some love.